security for himself and his family, press control that will be coordinated by Buckingham Palace, and finally, for his wife Meghan Markle to be treated as Her Royal Highness, complete with bows and curtsies.
Many are hoping for a reunion between Harry and his family. James, good morning.
Yeah, that's right, Gio. Good morning. It is 3 years to the day since Queen Elizabeth died, and London has been marking the anniversary with gun salutes this morning. Prince William and wife Kate paid tribute with an engagement in her honour, as did Prince Harry.
It seems like the runaway prince is looking to make a comeback, but rumors have it that he wouldn't be getting a warm reception from the royal family during this festive season. There has been a lot of clamoring and requests to revoke the title of Duke and Duchess of Sussex from the wannabe royals. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have taken it too far with how they use the titles, and it's finally catching up to them.
An awards ceremony this evening for Well Child, which is a charity he's patron for. What we don't know, though, is whether he'll see any of his family during this trip. We asked, but a representative for the Duke declined to comment, as did Buckingham Palace. They rarely do on personal matters. King Charles...
With the removal of Prince Andrew and Sarah Faganson's title as Duke and Duchess of York by the former prince's brother, King Charles, there are whispers that this has given Prince William the green light to do what he has been wanting to do. That is, to strip his brother and sister-in-law of their titles.
Met with the King's spokesman back in July. That was widely viewed as a step towards possible reconciliation. Harry has said he wants to mend the relationship, especially since his father's cancer diagnosis. A similar dialogue with his brother, though, does seem unlikely, but we will see what, if any...
And their reactions? Obviously not happy at all. And allegedly, Prince Harry is trying to do everything in his power to stop that. If there's one thing the future king has been very vocal about, is that his vision for the monarchy is very different from his father's. His father, the king, holds on to sentiment, but Prince William is all about removal and cutting out the cancers before they spread and swallow the monarchy whole. Meghan and Harry are part of that cancer that's causing chaos to the good name of the palace.
It's all coming home.
Harry, who grew up behind the gates of the palace, who had a place within the royal family and delivered his duties, abandoned the home he grew up in, the people he grew up with, and the people he served.
Charles face to face for the first time in 19 months. The last time they were seen together was February 2024. And of course, he had that court case and lost it. But after that, talking to the BBC,
he wanted out. So with his wife back in 2020, he did just that. But he took something with him as he and his wife, Meghan Markle, traveled to the other side of the pond, his title as Duke of Sussex. Now it's looking like his brother is gearing up to take that back. Not long after Charles was crowned as king, the world found out that King Charles was battling cancer. Although it's not clear which cancer he's dealing with, it's enough to slow down his pace and cause him to clear his calendar a few times for treatments and rest.
There at Clarence House, we know the King is also there, so that meeting is due to take place, or perhaps has already started. We wait for word. Daniela Ralph is there for us, and we wait for updates, but no...
The question is, while the King battles his health issues, who is running the show? Inside sources say it's William who's taking the reins while his father tends to his health issues. If that's the case, that is definitely not good news for Prince William and his family.
Article running there, Harry enters Clarence House after reports he will meet with the King. So we are keeping our eyes on their comings and goings and any word emerging on that meeting. So do stay with us, plenty more.
King Charles, at the end of the day, is still a father. Sources say he hit a roadblock when it came to handling his son and daughter-in-law. He's torn between being a father and being a king. This has caused him to stall and not take swift action before they make further damage to the kingdom.
Yes, I think what we saw was the old Harry. A bit of fun. I mean, him like jousting with a balloon with that little girl at the Well Child
Awards. It was quite nostalgic almost seeing him,
yeah,
wasn't it?
And he just looked, I don't know, he looked a bit like a weight had been lifted, because he's...
What he wants is for his boys to be on the same side once again. However, what William wants is to drop the hammer and take the necessary steps to remove any and all threats to the reputation of the palace. Ever since Meghan and William left the palace, they've thrown insults at the palace, the royal family, and the British people.
Paul Burrell, who of course was Diana's butler, has come out with another book. But there is I thought quite a telling revelation in it when he talks about Diana telling him that when she...
Their interview with Oprah Winfrey shortly after Megxit was the first of many things that would seal their fate and solidify them as betrayers and outcasts. To make matters worse, Harry published a book titled Spare, which revealed things, secrets that should have been buried behind castle walls. But at these two, every opportunity is a cash grab moment, a victim story moment, and an opportunity to stay relevant.
He says Diana said that to him. For reasons unbeknown to only him, Paul Burrell said that in 2017, when he came across William and Harry at their mother's old apartment.
Prince Harry was once absolutely adored by many. He was seen as his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth's favorite grandson. He always spoke adoringly of his mother, Princess Diana, who, to many, was the true people's princess. That was who he was until he became even unrecognizable to the people he grew up with.
Treated you as a complete equal, and you've just been told a story about your father coming in on the day of your birth and going, oh, well, there's the spare. I can now just go off and be with whoever I want to be. Whether that's true.
Sources say Prince William no longer recognizes his brother. Ever since he got married to Meghan Markle, he has become bitter and resentful. He's now seen as a betrayal, a prop, and a naive prince. He had the world eating from the palm of his hand, and he blew it for a woman who used him for show.
When you are told that about your own family, it makes you feel disenfranchised, like you have no purpose in the family. And I think that explains a lot. And later that same year was when he proposed to Meghan.
He appeared alongside his wife, Meghan, in many interviews as docile and compliant, like someone who has been handed his script and is playing his role down to the T. While his wife yaps on and takes digs at the royal family, he sits, nods, and interjects an awkward laugh here and there, as if on cue.
Parent or a child and go, let them just have their moment without being, worrying what people think anymore. I want them to stop worrying about that because whatever's right for them. Me and my sisters wasted 4 years of not speaking to each other.
Yeah.
And then
once upon a time, Harry and William had a cordial relationship, a good one. But it took a woman to sever the ties between them and break the bond completely. Now add that to his current vision for the monarchy, which is modern. William is very adamant about bringing change to the monarchy.
Just start loving each other again, and we couldn't love each other more now. Yeah. And we just don't talk about it.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, we've got family issues that have just been passed down. I don't even know which aunties we're not meant to speak to.
He's hoping the days ahead will be different from what they were like during his and Harry's time back in the day. The future king is very set in his plan for change, and nothing is going to change that. Not a flight down from the mansion of Montecito by a man he once knew.
We all feel like, we've got a part in his life and we watched him grow up.
And he's the most like Diana.
We all love Harry. And
he has made a lot of mistakes, though, with his family. I mean, Harry, yeah.
He's a kid growing up in the public eye.
I think, but
one thing Prince William is very aware of is what happens when you let certain scandals go unchecked, as evidenced by his uncle, Prince Andrew. His uncle was entangled in the notorious Epstein case and was accused by a woman of sexual misconduct, which was a big issue for the monarchy.
No, but I think putting things in print that were personal between him and his brother, I think, William is really struggling with that.
That's where the forgiveness bit needs to come in.
At the time, Prince Andrew got away with a light punishment as he voluntarily stepped away from his duties, but was still benefiting from his title as Prince and Duke of York. The same thing happened with his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, who was also entangled in the Epstein case.
First time in 19 months in London, Samara, the pair shared tea at Clarence House during a visit which lasted 45 minutes. My question would be, Samara, Harry couldn't even spare any more time for his father? 45 minutes after 1.5 years?
I'll tell you what.
She claimed publicly to have severed ties and cut communications with the notorious sex offender, Yet it later came out that she was still in communication with him. These are the kinds of issues Prince William is tired of. The constant connection back to the monarchy from non-working royals. Well, you could say better late than never, as they both had their titles revoked, and Prince Andrew was asked to vacate his royal lodge. There are also whispers that Prince William is unhappy that their daughters were allowed to keep their titles.
Over in LA, who are trying to make all these meetings happen. I mean, this Ukraine thing, I hate to say, but I think it's also tied to that. I mean, this is a man who pines on about how unsafe he feels and how he needs the British taxpayer to pay for his security, but is very happy to reveal about his 25 Taliban killings in his book that he got.
King Charles allegedly didn't want to punish the two girls for the crimes of their parents, and he still holds a soft spot for his nieces, which is why they still have their titles. Prince William, on the other hand, doesn't share the same sentiments. Friends and palace insiders say he is moving to strip the titles from non-working royals.
Hey, I'm back in with the royal family, public. Don't take me for a fool. But no one's falling for it. I mean, Harry is really, really deep in trouble at the moment, even financially. I mean, we know that Meghan's jam failed to sell out.
If you think about it, why should the people who don't carry out the responsibilities and duties attached to these titles enjoy the benefits of these titles? In every book Sarah Ferguson authors, it bears the title of Duchess of York, and that follows her in every scandal she finds herself in.
Trying to get back in with the king because he knows he'll never be able to get back in with William. That's never going to happen. So once that door is closed and unfortunately the king passes, I don't think there's any chance of him getting back into the fold.
No,
The same goes for Meghan. Every deal she gets, or magazine covers she manages to grace, or even events she begs her way into, carries her title, Duchess of Sussex. That is also dragged into every scandal and controversy she finds herself in, which inadvertently links back to the royal family, and the future king doesn't want that anymore.
To himself, and so is Meghan. So clearly Meghan has got Harry exactly where she wants him, and 45 minutes, gee, especially after the king had cancer.
In his book Spare, Harry details a moment where the future king fought with him. And as if to add salt to the injury, at every interview he went for his book, he claimed he is unapologetic for all he said in it, and as a matter of fact, still stands by it. The once loved prince, one could even say the royal family's favorite prince, went rogue, and now the world has turned its back on him.
For the first time in 19 months, meeting up for a private tea at the King's London residence. And, they're not our king.
Now he wants to play another card to favor his way back into his brother's life as a desperate last attempt to save his and his family's title. But the pit has already been dug. He has taken it too far, and now there's no hope of redemption. Nobody is on his side anymore. Nobody is buying his sob story anymore. He can't dig himself out of the hole he caused to appear in the first place.
With my family, there's no point in continuing to fight anymore. As I said, life is precious. I don't know how much longer my father has. He won't speak to me.
Prince William is not looking to mend relationships, but instead to strengthen an institution. To do that, he knows he would have to make tough calls, and he's more than ready to do it. He isn't moved by pretentious visits or words that carry no weight. He is ready to weed out the problem. And apparently, Henry and Meghan are at the top of his list.
Because of this security stuff. But it would be nice to reconcile.
Yeah.
Good.
It's so great. It's so great. And we know how fleeting and precious life can be. Yeah.
Allegedly, just after King Charles brought down the hammer on Andrew and Sarah, it sent both Harry and Meghan into a frenzy because they, just like the world, knew that it was only a matter of time. Just a matter of time before William does what his father has been too laid back to do. They know it. And so they're scrambling for a solution. grasping at straws and coming up empty.
He has a cancer diagnosis that's being treated. And so he doesn't know, Prince Harry doesn't know how long he has with his father. And I'm just happy that they had their tea. I'm happy that they had their tea. I'm thrilled for both of them.
Well, I think obviously the reminder that life is short, it's also sudden. One day you leave your house and you don't come home, So, and with aging parents, whether they're sick or not, the time is fine.
They also realize now that nobody was on their side anymore. Meghan and Harry declared to the world that they were leaving the royal family due to racism, lack of support from the royal family, and a host of other things. It caused a stir and a lot of drama, but they were cheered on by a large part of the public.
Maybe you've learned stuff that they didn't know. So you have to, it's like surfing. You have to surf and see, because parents are just other human beings.
Doing the best they
can, and they don't always get it right. They just don't. And, who amongst us?
The whole world was watching them to see how they would move independently and navigate their lives going forward. And now everyone is disappointed and exhausted. Meghan and Harry have made their entire personality surrounding being victims of abuse from the monarchy. They also can't seem to drop their titles.
Oh, is that the goal? They're supposed to do what you say.
Not so much anymore, but, nobody rolls their eyes at their kids anymore and goes, don't make me come over there. But that's
because I said so is alive and well.
Yeah.
They cling to their titles like a lifeline, even though they got them from an institution they claim to hate and want nothing to do with. People are tired of the same recycled material and are now on Team William's side. Some royal experts say the removal of the titles has been a long time coming, and the public agrees.
To consider, it's another thing for certainly the king to consider whether he wants him back in the royal fold. And for Prince William, well, we know that he doesn't want to have anything to do with his brother at the moment. He's got bigger things on his plate, such as making sure his children are...
The move to remove the titles might have come as a shock to the inhabitants of the Montecito Palace. But whispers and rumors circulating around the palace say otherwise. They say it's been a long time coming, and with the king's declining health and William stepping into his role much sooner than later, it's only a matter of time before the axe drops on the Sussexes.
As possible, so a bit of a grey area for Harry, I think.
I don't think William will be sending him about.
Now Harry is flying across the Atlantic to put a stop to this and allegedly make amends before it's too late, before he and his family lose the one thing that gives them access to rooms they would have never been in. Once that title goes, poof, every other thing goes as well. The attention, the deals, the coincidental events, they would all disappear overnight, and they'd be left with nothing.
And his famous resemblance to Mummy, which was fading with time, with age. It's pretty cutting.
I don't see it as cutting at all. My brother and I love each other. I love him deeply. There has been a lot of pain.
If this is taken away from Harry, what would become of him? This is the life he grew up in, and the only thing he knows. Without it, he's literally nothing. A former prince, now a cautionary tale. As for Meghan, she would probably move to the next best thing. But would she take him with her? Who knows?